Hello, welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries, the Christmas special. As you can see, no expense has been made whatsoever. It's a bit of tinsel I rescued off the dog before it was going to eat it and be sick. So last thing we were doing was putting the Circlip Groove in here, which we've measured up and it's come out really well. It's a nice square-sided slit in there. The slitting saw has done a fantastic job. The only thing I may have to do is to buy a slightly more manly set of Circlip pliers, because that is going to take a fair bit of squishing to get inside that bore there, and I don't want it to spring open and wreck the bore. So I probably need to put those on my shopping list. If I'd thought about it, I would have put them on my Christmas list, but never mind, hindsight, a wonderful thing. So before I go and show you the next job of the timing side, just come have a quick look at this, because I'm dead pleased with it. I rescued this pressure gauge out of a skip. It was at a farm and we were rescuing some machines, the great machines, including the Bridgeport there. And that was just, in the bin. And I thought, it's too nice to chuck that away. Look at it. It's a fantastic old pressure gauge. They don't make them like that anymore. So I didn't know if it worked. I had to mess around. I had to get my mate Matt to help me solder. Cheers, Matt. Get some UNC and UNF conversion type adapters, because the cheap Chinese compressor under here, everything's kind of Chinese metric, and that's obviously British cycle thread and imperial, but it works. The gauge works and it's holding pressure, and I'm very happy with that. So it's something that's been repurposed and saved for another, I don't know, 20-30 years or so. And I did wonder about, painting it, because there's a bit of patina on it, but I kind of like it as it is, and it's only going to end up like that in 30 years. So there we go, one saved pressure gauge, which I'm very happy with. Right, back over here, follow me this way. The next job is to take this off the rotary table where it's been positioned, and to bolt on the timing cases, because we've machined this Circlip groove on the drive side, and on the timing side we've got two Circlip grooves, one either side of the bearings here, the two main bearings. So the timing case, I was going to show you that, and I just got the two sets of cases side by side, and I thought that's a really good example of how much work we've done so far. If you look at the one at the bottom, that's pretty much as it was cast, apart from this face here, which we've machined through. Whereas the one at the top, you can see where we've machined out for the big bearing that the sleeve drive, it wraps around the sleeve drive crank, and we've done a bit of work in the bottom, so I'll show you that. So this is as cast. You can see we've still got some flashing around here. It's quite a small bore. This is quite a small bore as well. It's been opened up a lot for that big bearing. All I've done is machine off this, which is where that was the core hole, so that the hot aluminium was poured into that hole to make the casting, and that was just a big piece that came up here. So I just machined that off, the same on the other one, and I've made this face completely flat, so it's a good surface as a reference point. That's number two set of cases, which is a spare, and it's just for a mock-up, so I can get the frame builders to make me a frame with the engine without having to send the actual engine away. This set here, a lot more work's been done. You can see how it's been taken out for the sleeve drive bearing, which is the big bearing that goes over the sleeve drive. In fact, on the drawing you can see that's this bearing here. So that bearing goes around the outside of the sleeve drive crank. So that bearing's all been machined out. The main bearing's been machined out here underneath my finger around there, and this has just been opened up slightly to give us clearance on the sleeve drive chain that goes on the end of the crank. So the next job is to cut the two Circlip grooves into here, and I'm probably going to do that from the other side. If I tried to cut the grooves with a milling machine and the cutter from this side, from the top, it would be quite difficult to center that on the surface table. So I'm going to have to bolt them down with that face on the surface table, make some longer studs to pull it down, and there's a bit more thought to doing that. But that's where we're at so far. So we've got a pair of Circlip grooves to cut in here next. We've done the Circlip groove in there, and in the meantime there's been a bit of a pressure gauge mounted on the wall. So that's that. If you're on a Christmas break, enjoy your break. Hope everybody's getting some time in the shed, if you've got a shed, if you're lucky enough. and if I don't post an update before, have yourself a great new year. Thanks for watching.